Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I thought it would be a good time just to sit down and catch you up. This vlog is definitely not going to be organized. I have sort of random clips from the last two and a half weeks. Even before my last video was posted, I just had some little clips. We were in our last apartment and we've honestly had a pretty rainy spring so far, so I haven't been getting as many like outside clips. We've been having shorter walks, lots of inside days, and then my partner and I were also getting over our sickness, our vid I think it was. We've just kind of been like recovering and getting our energy back and all of that. There was a car show in the Skanderbeg Square that was interesting. I took some clips of that, but they had all these like old cars out, and yeah, had this like weekend car show. It was like a retro car show. Then I explained to you a little bit about the frustration that I had because we were like days away from leaving our last Airbnb and we had some issues with where we were supposed to be moving. We were actually planning to go and spend 1 month in INQUIRES, which is on the coast of Albania. Coming at you from lunch. I also have my pimple patches on because the skin is just not having it. Anyways, in 2 days, we are moving to another Airbnb. We were supposed to be going to an Airbnb in INQUIRES, which is on the coast, on the sea. I was very excited about having a month on the water again, but something was messed up with our Airbnb host, and basically we had like no communication, not sure if he's a scam, even though he had reviews and was verified and the place wasn't new or anything. Yeah, it's been a bit stressful, but we just got refunded our money, or the notice that we will be refunded our money from Airbnb, which contacting them was also a little bit more difficult than it should have been. And we last minute booked a place here in Tirana, so we'll be here for another month, which I will get into, but I am pretty ready to say goodbye to the city. Like, I've been feeling very like overwhelmed, but I finally got the message from this new Airbnb host, the place here in the city, and yeah, all should be well. We should have a roof over our heads in 2 days. A lot of anxiety now can pass. We had a spot booked and I tried contacting the host, I think 3 times, 3 separate occasions, and we never heard a single word back. So we reached out to Airbnb to let them know that we weren't going to be traveling all the way to the beach, just to find out that we didn't actually have a place to stay. Unfortunately, they make you wait until 48 hours before you're supposed to check in. So I would have done it way in advance, but unfortunately, if you cancel your reservation, you don't get refunded. So I had to go through Airbnb and wait until 48 hours before we were supposed to be moving out, and that was pretty stressful, especially just because, you know, we were getting over sickness and now we have a dog and trying to figure all that out. If I'm being totally honest, the reason we were going to go to INQUIRES is because I am a little bit tired of living in a city. I think we're all actually a bit tired of living in a city. I think coming from Canada, especially if you don't come from Toronto or Vancouver, most of the country is really just like wide open space, small towns and country. Cities, it's just not really where I feel most comfortable. So I've kind of been anxious to get out of Tirana. Although I love the city, I've just kind of been feeling like I am ready to get into more space, and especially now that we have a dog too, walking a dog in a city is something that I've never like actually had to do before. When I had a dog, I lived in like small towns or small cities. Now that we have Roxanne, because we're waiting for her blood work to come back and we need that for her to be able to leave the country, we want to make sure that we have all of her paperwork. We have to wait until the blood work comes back, and it comes from Austria, so they told us it could be up to a month, which is why we extended a month here in the city. So once we get that back, then we are basically good to go in terms of traveling with Roxanne.
You just got up there by yourself.
On a more personal note, the last few months have been honestly a lot. Lots has been going on. I've been getting back into the groove of things since I had gone to New Zealand. So I mentioned in a video that like hormonally I've just been like very thrown off, and yeah, I've had like a lot of just emotional stuff I've been working through. It's actually my goal when I am back in Canada at some point. I would like to kind of connect with a doctor. I have some amazing people that I work with on the more holistic side for balancing hormones and women's health and all of that. I have suspected for a while, probably about 3 years or so, that I may have some severe PMS or PMDD. PMDD stands for premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and essentially is very, very, very severe PMS. You basically just have like 1 or 2 weeks before your period that you feel like a completely different person, and your brain and your mindset is just like totally altered, and you don't really even know what's come over you. It's just like living through this like nightmare hellish week or two. So I think that I've been struggling with something like this for several years now. It gets better and worse at different points in my life, but I think with the lack of stability that I have had for most of my adulthood, not really having like a place to live, home, etc., I think it can really kind of push that disorder where I just feel really, really bad. So I don't necessarily want to be just self-diagnosing these things, although I think a lot of people can do that. A goal of mine might be to just check in with a practitioner, doctor, when I am back and just kind of see where they stand on things. I don't personally think that I wouldn't want to take like any medication for it, but I think just to have a diagnosis might kind of help me feel supported and kind of just justify that it's okay I feel the way I do, which I know doesn't need to come from a diagnosis. But yeah, there's just been kind of a lot of stuff going on. Part of that too is just feeling a little bit stuck being here in Albania. Again, we are moving every single month, so I think it brings up just a lot of instability, and yeah, if anyone has had to move a lot in their life or is nomadic and travels around a lot, for some people I think it's an easy lifestyle to have, and for some people I think it can be quite difficult, which for me is probably more the case. Even though adventuring and all of that is wonderful and I love the opportunity and the memories that come along with it, I think it can still just be pretty difficult on our whole body system just to have that change all the time. I don't want this video to get too long. I'm hoping I have a slightly more exciting vlog for you next week, but this is what it is for this week. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.